Today, we're entering one of the most important transformations in automotive history, the shift towards software-defined vehicles, or SDVs. Now, what does this really mean? A software-defined vehicle is a vehicle where software is no longer just supporting features, but actually defining how the vehicle behaves, evolves, and improves over time. In traditional vehicles, functionality was tightly coupled with hardware components. Each ECU, or electronic control unit, was responsible for a fixed function. And once deployed, it was nearly impossible to upgrade capabilities without changing hardware. But in SDVs, this paradigm completely changes. The vehicle becomes a programmable platform where features like ADS, infotainment, battery optimization, or even driving dynamics can be updated over the air, just like your smartphone. This shift is driven by OEMs like Tesla, BMW, and Volkswagen, who are redesigning vehicle architecture to support continuous software deployment. In this lecture, you will understand the complete architecture of SDVs, from hardware evolution to networking to software platforms and cloud integration. By the end, you will not just understand SDVs, but think like an automotive system architect. To truly understand SDVs, we must start with the evolution of EE architecture, which stands for Electrical and Electronic Architecture. In traditional vehicles, we had a distributed architecture consisting of 70 to even 150 ECUs, each ECU handling a specific function like engine control, braking, infotainment, or body electronics. These ECUs were connected using CAN, or Controller Area Network, a robust but bandwidth-limited communication protocol. Now, this architecture worked well for static features, but it created major challenges. Software updates were complex, cross-ECU communication was limited, and system integration across suppliers became extremely difficult. To address this, OEMs moved to domain-based architecture, where ECUs were grouped into domains like powertrain, ADAS, infotainment. This reduced complexity, but still did not fully solve scalability issues. Now the industry is moving towards zonal architecture. In zonal architecture, ECUs are replaced by zonal controllers, placed physically across the vehicle, handling all sensors and actuators in that zone. These zonal controllers connect to a central high-performance compute unit. This central compute acts as the brain of the vehicle, enabling software consolidation and high-performance processing. This is the foundation of software-defined vehicles. Now that we have centralized compute, the next challenge is communication. Traditional vehicles relied heavily on CAN, which is reliable but limited to low bandwidth, typically up to 1 megabit per second. With SDVs, data requirements have exploded. Think about ADAS systems, cameras, radars, LiDARs, generating massive data streams. CAN simply cannot handle this load. This is where Automotive Ethernet comes into play, offering bandwidths of 100 megabits per second, 1 gigabit per second, or even higher. But bandwidth alone is not enough. We also need a new communication paradigm. This is where some IP comes in, which stands for Scalable Service-Oriented Middleware over IP. Instead of signal-based communication, where ECUs exchange raw signals, we now move to service-based communication. For example, instead of sending raw speed signals, a service can provide vehicle speed as an API. Applications can subscribe, request, or consume services dynamically. This is very similar to microservices architecture in cloud systems. And this shift is critical for building scalable, flexible SDV platforms. Now let us look at the software stack, which is the heart of SDV. At the lowest level, we have AUTOSAR, which stands for Automotive Open System Architecture. AUTOSAR Classic is used for real-time, safety-critical applications, like braking or airbag systems, while AUTOSAR Adaptive is designed for high-performance compute platforms, supporting dynamic applications. On top of this, we have operating systems like Linux, QNX, and Android Automotive. QNX is widely used for safety-critical systems due to its microkernel architecture and strong reliability. Linux is used for flexibility and scalability, especially in centralized compute. Android Automotive powers infotainment systems, providing app ecosystems and user interface frameworks. Now in SDVs, all these systems often run together. This is enabled using a hypervisor. A hypervisor allows multiple operating systems to run on the same hardware. For example, safety-critical AUTOSAR can run alongside Android Automotive while maintaining isolation. This is essential for meeting ISO 26262 functional safety requirements. One of the most powerful capabilities of SDVs is OTA, or over-the-air updates. In traditional vehicles, updating software required visiting service centers, but in SDVs, updates are delivered remotely from the cloud. The OTA pipeline starts with cloud backend systems, where software updates are packaged, validated, and signed. These updates are then delivered securely to the vehicle using telematics connectivity. Inside the vehicle, a dedicated update manager verifies authenticity and installs updates. Now, one critical requirement is rollback. If an update fails, the system must safely revert to the previous version. This is often implemented using A/B partitioning, where two software slots exist, one active and one for updates. Cybersecurity plays a key role here. Secure boot ensures only trusted software runs. Certificates and encryption protect data during transmission. And fleet learning enables OEMs to collect data, analyze performance, and continuously improve features. This is how vehicles evolve, even after being sold. While SDVs sound powerful, implementing them is extremely challenging. First challenge is legacy systems. OEMs have decades of existing architectures, and migrating them to centralized SDV platforms is not straightforward. Second challenge is supplier integration. A single vehicle may involve multiple Tier 1 suppliers, each providing different ECUs, software stacks, and interfaces. Aligning all of them into a unified SDV architecture requires strong platform governance. Third challenge is cost. Centralized compute platforms, high-speed networking, and cloud infrastructure significantly increase upfront cost. OEMs must balance this with long-term benefits. And finally, certification. SDVs must comply with ISO 26262 for functional safety, and ASPICE, Automotive Software Process Improvement and Capability Determination, for software development maturity. Ensuring compliance while maintaining agility is one of the biggest engineering challenges today. Looking ahead, SDVs are just the beginning. The next phase is AI-driven vehicles. AI copilots, powered by large language models, will enable natural interaction, predictive assistance, and personalized experiences. Vehicles will continuously learn from driver behavior, environment, and fleet data. We will also see continuous deployment models, where new features are released regularly, just like software applications. This transforms the vehicle into a platform where third-party developers can build apps, services, and experiences, just like smartphones today. And this opens up entirely new business models. From subscription-based features to data-driven services, the automotive industry is no longer just about manufacturing vehicles. It is becoming a software and services industry. Let us now bring everything together. A software-defined vehicle is built on 4 key pillars. First, a modern EE architecture with zonal controllers and centralized compute. Second, high-speed networking using Ethernet and service-oriented communication. Third, a flexible software stack combining AUTOSAR, Linux, QNX, and Android Automotive. And fourth, deep cloud integration, enabling OTA updates and continuous improvement. The key mindset shift is this: vehicles are no longer static products. They are evolving software platforms. And understanding this architecture is critical for anyone working in automotive software. This is not just a trend. This is the future of the automotive industry.